Well, good morning, Green Spring. We're back in the studio now with Nancy Weimer, and we're going to be talking about the Staff Appreciation Fund. And the Staff Appreciation Fund, we've all contributed to it, I hope. And so we're going to discuss a little bit more, a little aftermath of the Staff Appreciation Fund. It was a very successful fund, wasn't it?
Well, first of all, Gray, I want to send out a very huge thank you to all the residents for their wonderful contributions to staff appreciation this year. Our goal this year was $295,000. We raised the goal for the previous 5 years. It was $285,000. So the committee and I talked about it, and we decided to raise it this year to $295,000.
By the way, Nancy is the chairman of the Resident Life Committee.
Yes.
And the Resident Life Committee is the committee that was responsible for conducting the Staff Appreciation Fund. Is that right?
Yes.
And just what is it you did to collect? What did the committee do?
Well, first of all, we really need to appreciate the resident coordinators, Anita, Janelle, and Dwayne. Anita and Janelle have worked so very hard behind the scenes because when the residents submit the checks, all of those checks have to be counted. They're put on a spreadsheet. They have to be deposited daily. Then the ribbons that we give out that you've contributed to staff appreciation have to be delivered. And
now the community resource personnel, Anita and Janelle, and now Dwayne, but Dwayne wasn't here during that.
Anita is responsible for kicking off the campaign, telling us what we need to do. We probably started in early September with the things that we needed to do, and we had talked about it prior to that. But one of the things that we did was we gave out Hershey Kisses as the last kickoff. Yes, and we packaged 10,000 Hershey Kisses.
Is that right?
To give out in all of the dining rooms.
Okay.
And to work the dining rooms, to work each shift for the dining room.
You all had a table out front, as I recall.
We had tables out front,
yeah.
And we needed to have people to man those tables. Staff appreciation took, from start to completion, I needed 100 volunteers.
Oh, is that right?
That's
the committee, the committee, you coordinated all of that, I presume.
Well, the committee, it was 100 volunteers to fill all of the positions. Yes. Some of the people on my committee went over and above. They worked every event that we did, but it was still a position that needed to be filled. A lot of other residents that I've come to know stepped up. Anyone that's ever interested in volunteering, I know some people don't really want to give a committed amount of time every month that you have to do for some of the committees, but they like to help out with one-time events. And if you're interested in that, you can always let me know your name because I'm interested in having you.
Well, we have the application for the committees out now. I mean, the residents have the opportunities to select, to say, I'd like to be on this particular committee, and you'd like to have them on Resident Life, wouldn't you?
Well, the thing of it is, I think a lot of people felt that if they were on a committee, they didn't have to re-sign up, and that's not true.
No.
You need to re-volunteer each year.
Yep.
Now, I am going to be chair of Resident Life again next year.
Good, you did a great job.
And I learned a lot this year. I really learned a lot. But
and another point I want to make before we get off what we're talking about is a lot of people get the idea that you get on the committee, you come to meetings, and you don't do anything. But what you've just said illustrates that you do a significant amount of work throughout the year.
yes.
And of course, you put a lot of effort on the Staff Appreciation Fund, but the committee really, you get an opportunity to participate, and you get an opportunity to really learn about what's going on in the community, especially at Resident Life, for example, all of the activities you get involved in, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I'm going to hit on in January when I have my new committee, that you don't just come here to keep a chair warm for an hour and a half. You need to be able to work. Yeah. And nothing is hard. I try to make everything a lot of fun. So it's not really a hard thing to do, but we need the help and the participation.
Okay, well, let's get back to the Staff Appreciation Fund.
Okay. Well, this year, our Staff Appreciation Fund raised $315,914.02.
Somebody had to put in their 2 cents worth.
Somebody had to put in their 2 cents worth, and that made it 107.10% of our goal.
Good.
And I can't begin to say thank you enough to all of the residents that participated. This money goes to the hourly staff. Here at Green Spring, we have 1,000 hourly employees in 74 different job titles that are eligible for a check. Our check distribution is next Tuesday on December the 12th. There is a time change from what we originally started with. It's going to be in Garden Ridge from 2 to 4, and in Hunters Crossing in the Conference Center from 2:30 to 4:30. And the one in Hunters Crossing is for all the employees from independent living. There are so many... Yeah, so many people work here that we never see. We don't see the grounds people. We don't see the dishwashers, the cooks, the prep cooks. And it's a chance for us to say thank you to all of them for the wonderful work that they do for us. I also want to give a huge thank you to my Resident Life Committee, because they went over and above what you need to do to get all of the things done. And also to all of the residents that were not on the committee but stepped up to volunteer with the activities that led to a successful campaign.
How many do you have on your committee?
We have 12.
12, okay.
And I did request that I have more next year, because we provide the volunteers for all of the things that the coordinators, the resident coordinators, the activities that they put on. They will call me and ask for volunteers to do all of that. But I want to put out a very special thank you to Elaine Sorensen. She is the one who kicked us off on Channel 6 on November the 1st. And after Elaine gave her talk, we had at least 5 residents wrote an additional check for staff appreciation because they felt they hadn't given enough. And some of the checks were extremely generous. We got a lot of thank you notes for all of the things that the employees do, and we will be including those next year on our staff appreciation campaign.
Good idea.
So that we would do that. Now, one of the things when you give to staff appreciation, I wanted to make everyone aware that there is a staff appreciation fund account. If it would be easier for you to give money monthly on your bill, you could fill out this form and give it to any resource coordinator. You can also get the form from myself or any of the coordinators. They have the paper available that you can do that.
So they don't turn it into finance, but they turn it into a resource coordinator?
Yes.
Okay.
And, but we just have to turn it over to finance. And Donna Epps is working on trying to make all of that transition easier also. But there is just so much for everyone to be able to do, and I encourage everyone to volunteer. There are so many things, and you can learn so much about what's going on.
Well, Nancy, you've been here about 2 years, right?
3.
You've been here 3 years, and you were on the Resident Life Committee the first year or the second year?
No, this was my first year.
You became the chairman
and they
of it.
called and asked me to be chair. I said, I don't know about that. But in my real life, when I worked, I actually was a director of manufacturing.
Oh, okay, so you're
So
used to,
I'm aware of all of the idiosyncrasies that go into this type of thing, and also how to encourage people to do things.
well, that certainly helps, but thank you very much for coming and talking about the Staff Appreciation Fund. I hope you have learned something about it, because it's a very important part of our life here at Green Springs, so thank you very much.